Boom. I saw a post the other day that made me think of a great experience I had within the last year or so. Dr. Ben Carson, brilliant, neurologist, one of the greatest brain surgeons Johns Hopkins has ever produced. Worked, government positions. I think HUD for I think Trump's first time in office. Phenomenal human being, brilliant guy. He has a youth program that honors and gives scholarships to kids that maintain a high level of academic performance, particularly in rough neighborhoods, spots where that's not always the case. He invited me to come be a keynote speaker to one of those events. One of my all-time favorite events. I really tried to talk to the kids. One of the moms came up afterwards, and her husband's a senator, and she actually said, "I've been to 3 of these. This is one of the best speeches we've ever had. You're the only person that ever came here and talked to the kids." Usually people are grandstanding and trying to do something that's going to get, whatever, likes, clicks, and kind of talks to the senior folks in the room. That was right on the mark. I had a great experience. And the real gift was I had dinner with Dr. Carson, his bride, and their whole board of directors. It was a great experience. But I saw something posted about Dr. Carson, and I want to share the story. I give him full attribution. I knew some of this story, but he's being interviewed on kind of a faith-based a podcast, and the podcast host asked him, "Hey, can you share the story about General Washington, President Washington, that you shared with me?" And Carson says, "Oh, the Bulletproof President," and so he launches into this story, and I thought it was worth sharing. Washington, before he was president, before even the Revolution, had come to the States and was involved in the French and Indian Wars. He was a courier for actually a British general. Every single one of the couriers that worked for this general was killed in combat. To a man, everyone killed except Washington. And Washington had at least 2 horses shot out from underneath him. That means enough gunfire came in, killed the horse he was riding, so he needed a new mount. After one battle, he apparently had 4 or 5 bullet holes through one of his coats, no flesh wounds, had actual fragments, bullet fragments that were all in his hair and stuck on his body, no wounds whatsoever. A Native American chief, one of the war chiefs of one of these tribes that was involved in that engagement as a young man, years later heard Washington had returned to this era, either on a diplomatic event or was in the area. And this war chief told his people, "Bring me to this man." And the war chief comes up and meets with Washington, and they get a conversation going. He says, I am an expert marksman. I counted coup on many of my enemy, and I don't miss when I shoot. I shot at you 17 times. My brave shot at you multiple times. I actually told them about, several shots after that, stop firing at that man. It is an absolute waste of your bullets. And he went on to say, I just wanted to meet the man that was protected from the creator or the power from up above. I loved hearing Carson tell this story. The reason Carson told it was actually, this used to be in our history books. These type of stories were prevalent in the American founding in the West, and probably because protected by God is no longer something that they want in textbooks, it's out of it. But that right there is a Western American story and what we were founded on. Ever onward.